What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, joined here with
Gershwan.
And once again, we're answering questions in another enticing episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. And if you want to support the channel, if you enjoy listening to us, you can hit us up with a super thanks. If you do, ask us a question and we'll answer it in the next episode, guaranteed. And it might even become a thumbnail question, which is what Super Non-Friendo 7512 has done. He asks, Omegon and Alpharius are clearly both dead. The Hydra can exist without them. Why are we all so keen on them being alive?
Simply put, they're Primarchs, and everybody loves Primarchs. Primarchs are essentially gods, super soldiers, mythical beings that can fight at near hypersonic levels, and it's really interesting to see what somebody with so much power can do and how they've shaped the whole galaxy. First of all, the thing about the 20th Legion is that they're all about subtlety, subterfuge, camouflage, double crossing. They are double agents. You don't know if they're playing for the good guys or the bad guys, aka Chaos or the Loyalists. So it's really interesting to just keep on pondering and questioning everything, because they've always given us a reason to question.
Yeah. And I think also the same phenomenon happens with any other faction where it would be awesome to bring Ferrus Manus back.
Yes.
We know he's dead.
Yeah.
But it would be awesome to have like a Dreadnought version of a Primarch. So same thing with Alpharius and Omegon. They might be dead, but the concept of having this a twin set of like super beings is just awesome.
Yeah, because they're pretty different than the rest of the Primarchs. First of all, like you said, they're twins. Mm-hmm. Like, that's crazy. So is there 21 Primarchs, not 20 Primarchs? And then at the same time, it's like these were not these big hulking, characters that you could clearly distinguish. Like, they're the same size as a Space Marine. They pretty much wore like the same armor so they could hide amongst the ranks of their own soldiers and strike from within. So it's like, yeah, these guys are pretty badass. They're pretty cool. They fought against opponents that should have killed them, and they come out on top.
It makes you question, like, if Alpharius and Omegon were to come back, they would be smaller than a Primaris.
Maybe, yeah.
Because Primaris are supposed to be bigger.
A little bit taller than Space Marines, yeah.
So, like, I wonder if they are crossing the Rubicon, like Alpharius and Omegon are. So.
Which would have to be a whole completely different process, because the Rubicon was made specifically for Space Marines with their gene seed in mind and their biology.
Not Primarchs.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. And we saw one of them die at the hands of Dorn. Basically got eviscerated by his chainsword. Mm-hmm. And then the other one, it's more mysterious as to how he died and who he was and stuff like that. But you are right that the Alpha Legion can still operate at full capacity without having their Primarchs leading them. So what that kind of leads us to believe is that maybe the actual Primarchs are still hidden, still giving them orders and still acting on their behalf.
Because that's every faction too. Any Chaos faction, because even you have like Mortarion's companies, they're operating by themselves. Mm-hmm. They don't have Mortarion like telling them what to do. Most of these traitor legions broke apart during the Great Scouring, so they're operating alone.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. Which is, I guess, GW's answer to successor chapters. So, like, for Loyalists, you have successor chapters that you can branch off and create your own. For the traitors, you can technically break off and create your own warband based on the fact that, like, well, Mortarion isn't leading this one. It's separate.
Yeah. Typhus is leading it.
Right, yeah.
Next question is also worth super thanks. And Stupid Beetle asks, open the Norn?
Like the Norn Queen?
So basically, if you don't know what the Norn Queens are, they're quote-unquote Primarchs for the Tyranids.
Assassins, really.
Yeah, the Norns emissaries are the assassins.
Yeah.
They are basically custody-level Tyranids that can tear apart anything in their way. They're super huge. They could survive plasma blasts to the face. Like, they're a huge threat to the Imperium. And we can see them just going out and eviscerating entire companies of dreadnoughts, space marines, imperial assassins, even custodies, like I said, to the point where it took a whole squad of custodies to take one down, and like the entire squad was like gone as well. So yeah, they're pretty powerful.
Yeah. Norn queens are also like, whoa, massive tyrannids that are just controlling the hive mind.
Yeah, essentially they could be called the conduits of the hive mind. So it'd be really interesting to see if, when, and how we get more lore on why the Norns are created and how they actually impact the creation of tyrannids.
Yeah. Has there ever been a faction or a piece of a lore that you're just like, I don't like that? Because I feel like that happens a lot with the Tyranids. I want them to be more animalistic, but then they come out with these like Norn emissary, kind of like named character type of things. Yeah,
I mean, we do have like Old One Eye and stuff like that.
Right.
That I think was pretty cool because it's basically just a consciousness getting reformed.
Yeah.
But like the one thing I'm really scared of the Tyranids is if they ever get the same lore of like the Zerg from StarCraft, where you have this humanoid, like insectoid Zerg, you know, thing leading the actual Zerg. Like, no, that's not what I want.
Yeah, that would suck. Next question comes from Lee I am. Why my pee-pee hurty?
You gotta cleanie better.
Yes. Next question.
This one says by Patty Man. The reason your poop is brown is because you have dried blood cells in there.
I don't know who asked. Like, that's weird. Why did that come up?
I wonder. Yeah. But on the same topic of poop, Octarius08 asks, if the Imperium of Man was destroyed, which faction would be the dominant one, and could they destroy all the other factions?
Dominance is hard because it's like control-wise, I don't think any faction would like want to take control of the universe or the galaxy. But I feel like the orcs would just naturally be everywhere. Because they already are. Right.
The orcs are everywhere. They have the most areas covered, I guess you could say. But at the end of the day, they'll never be unified to gain control of the galaxy. Yeah. And I think because of that, the next best threat or the next best superpower, I think, might be the Necrons.
Yeah, for sure. Because the Necrons are reawakening. They have the Silent King there. Yeah.
And even though the Tyranids are going to be a thorn on their side, like the Tower already out of it, the Eldar, they're a dying race. They're not going to be ones in control. So I think it really comes down to those three, the Tyranids, the Orcs, and the Necrons. But I think the Necrons have the technology and more Tomb Worlds awakening to get them there.
They're well connected, yeah. Next question comes from the big one. When the Primarchs were little kids, did they enjoy going to theme and water parks?
Yeah, who doesn't? Even when you're adults, you kind of enjoy it too. Sometimes.
Kind of. We really enjoy it. Especially theme parks.
Yeah.
Roller coasters.
It's like you enjoy the ride, but then you finish hurting. You keep hurting.
Because of the walking. Yeah. Next one.
Chirga Sanghiv. Could the Imperium of Man ever really win?
They can, yeah. Winning for the Imperium is just like becoming more cohesive, not falling into that stagnation and understanding why technology works the way that it does.
Yeah, they're kind of stuck and stagnant, and I think that's part of the awesomeness of the whole grimdark aspect of 40K. So for them to win, I feel like that takes away from what 40K is in like the grittiness of it all, the hopelessness of it.
Yeah.
So hopefully they never win. Like hopefully they come close, but they keep getting pushed down into the dirt.
So we can keep playing a game. Next question comes from Divine Glitch 9550. It's not really a question, but he says, I like how Gersh is basically just like, yep, we do coke and make Warhammer videos. That's our life now. It'd be our life now.
Yeah. What can you do? You just got to keep moving forward.
Next question.
This one's by Tease Family Kent. If the next Primarch to return was one of the missing ones, and either Gilliman or the Lion somehow recognizes them, what would happen?
They'd probably have dinner.
Yeah. It'll be like that one meme where like Arnold is like shaking the hand, they're all swole, but now you're introducing a third hand into it. Yeah, and they all kiss.
Yeah, that's a weird handshake, but yeah. I think eventually, though, Gilliman has to be like, all right, brothers, let's go talk to Dad.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Anytime you have the family come over, you got to talk to the pops.
Yeah, he's the OG. What the Emperor would say to the Lion, Gilliman, and I would probably say Rogodorn's the next one to come, the Loyalist.
Yeah, that probably makes the most sense.
Yeah. I think he would just be like, I'm turning into a god. Meet your new mom.
or to come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really interesting to see, because like when you think about it, what is Guilliman doing for the Imperium? He's kind of been fixing everything that he can, and he's being like pushed all different types of ways. But I think he's been kind of quelling chaos.
Yeah.
When the Lion comes into the fray, and we haven't really gotten the next step of the lore yet, I think his is more about amassing control of the Imperium from chaos, and I think Dorn would be the next step in keeping that control and protection by creating bastions around Terra and fortifying it. So to me, that makes the more sense logically, and they can just expand from there, where Guilliman's like the spear tip, the Lion is like the shield, and then Dorn is like the bastion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. It's exciting to get like that kind of Primarch out there.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's keeping with the hypothetical, say if Dorn does return, what part of the Emperor do you think he was given? Because obviously Guilliman has the sword, the Lion has the shield.
The talons.
The talons of the Emperor. Yeah, because he's missing the hand.
Yep, he got his hand chopped off.
Perfect.
Which is why, another reason why I was like, yeah, he's probably coming back. You're not going to see, like, the Emperor was never riding a bike, so Jagatai Khan's never going to come back. or he will come back, but he's not going to be riding a bike.
He'll have the Emperor's Reeboks or something.
Yeah. Last question. Do you have one?
This one is by Bullet6177. Where is the Silent King currently? Do we even know what he's doing after his current lore?
I believe he is in the Pariah Nexus.
Yeah, so he's basically trying to kind of reestablish his power, his authority, and kind of recollect all the dynasties to his one cause.
Which is something that he's been trying to do ever since the War in Heaven.
Yes.
You got to remember that the Necron dynasties are super fractured. They're just naturally they don't like each other. So the Silent King is just like, why can't we all be friends?
Why can't we be friends?
Why can't we? Yeah. Yeah. Are we ever going to see anything with the Necrons? Probably not.
No, it's going to take another 6 editions for them to become prominent again.
Yeah. Next time we get a new warrior model, that's when the plot will further. Buy more Necron or buy more Xenos that you want, and then GW might pay attention to it.
Yeah, but the cool thing about 10th edition is they said that every army is going to get new models,
yes,
or at least an update in some models. So just because you didn't have your army become part of the start collecting, like part of the whole 10th edition box set, doesn't mean you're going to be ignored. You're going to get little inklings of stuff.
Yes. And those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk tomorrow.
As always, it's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gershwan,
and we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.